Hello, listeners, and welcome once again to Tales from the Arclight. We return now to Hoard of the Cinder King, an Exandrian tale. May I reintroduce our lovely players and the characters they are playing?
Hello, I'm Nathan Dean, and I will be playing the character Errol Kane. He is a dark elf drow fighter at level 7, a gunslinger from a small town where he started as a sheriff and is now turning to a life more of crime. And I stupidly elected to do a cowboy accent all the way through this.
I'm Rebecca Reeg, playing Brenna Nimblecloak, a Ghostwise halfling cleric of the Changebringer. I'm a member of the class whose past is starting to come back towards her.
Hello, I am Claudia, also known on the internet as Gunner, and I will be playing Olga Savagehand, Goliath, multi-class barbarian monk of the Cobalt Soul. She is a forever apprentice, only smash, pure of heart, dumb of ass.
And so, we return to Exandria and our tale, Hoard of the Cinder King. So, last we left off, you were leaving the warehouse in the port of Emon with a view of getting some breakfast. Brenna, you had just been abducted by members of the Clasp. You managed to, with the aid of your compatriots, you managed to parlay a ceasing of hostilities between yourself and them, which, based on the word of one half-orc by the name of Garthok, seems like it should hold, at least for the present moment in time. But there is the revelation that they have some awareness of the location of members of your family, including ones that perhaps you were unaware whether or not they were still alive. You have been in seclusion for a long time. How does Brenna feel about this turn of events? To borrow a technique from our fellow DM and friend of the podcast, Casey.
Yes.
How does Brenna feel about this?
Brenna is conflicted. For those that don't really know, Brenna thought her husband was dead. She and her sisters were alive. She knew her daughter was alive, but as far as she knew, her husband was dead, and now there's word that he could be alive, and that is now in her mind of, do I carry on with my task here, or do I go find my husband? The fact that he hasn't tried to contact me in so long, does he know I'm alive? Does he care? Any coffee? That's where her little head is. Any coffee? I need to think straight. But she's still, it's that little worm in the back of her head now. That little worry.
Oof.
Very good. In this moment, I think as these thoughts are tumbling through your head, you remember that day, that fateful day, 30 years ago, of fire and rubble and destruction, of a small family fleeing the very streets that you are now walking upon, out, trying to get out of the city, get away from the wrath of the Cinder King as it lay waste to Emon and the people living there. You remember a manhole cover being hoisted up. You remember raiders a mere block away overhearing the sound of metal scraping against cobble, of a splash as one of your sisters lost her footing, and your husband urging you all to head down into the darkness and away from harm, and him levering the cover back over in order to buy you some time. and you sit with that for a moment. Olga, you have you have known these people for about an hour
Yes.
tops. What are your first impressions of this motley collection of individuals that you have been assigned to by your superior officer within the Library of the Cobalt Soul, Cressida Holt?
Well, to be honest, Olga doesn't really, I don't really understand what's going on most of the time. I'm constantly surrounded by people who are a lot more intelligent than I am, and they talk about things as though I'm not there because they assume I don't know what they're talking about, and they are mostly always correct. I'm assuming I've still got Brenna over my shoulder.
That's I'm being bodily carried, yes.
Right. Yes, I'm currently thinking I need to return this child back to the people she was kidnapped from, and I'm still being followed by a strange cowboy and a man that sometimes turns into a half bird. So at the moment thinking, no thoughts, this is strange, this is not necessarily abnormal, so I'm just gonna return this
The
child.
50-year-old halfling appreciates being called a child. It's very nice to know she can still pass.
That was what was told. That was what I was told to do, and that is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Return the child.
Hey, it's a free ride. I'm taking it.
In her defense, the term kidnapped was used,
I love it.
so this kid was nabbed.
Seeing that Brenna is, I guess, making no efforts to resist being carried like a small child by this. Let us be clear: 7 foot tall, over 7 foot tall.
Yeah,
Goliath.
over 7 foot.
Siegfried, who again is like about 7 foot with full like plate armor on, and boots, and the whole shebang, is going to quicken pace a little bit. Like you hear him kind of like the jostling of like chainmail and plates of armor as he kind of like jostles up to keep pace with you, and just like gently taps you on the shoulder and is like, thank you, Olga. I think the present danger has passed. I think.
Shh. Shh.
Is that Brenna shushing Siegfried?
Yes.
Yes.
She's like, shh. It's rare I get saved. Shh.
By all means. I was going to suggest that before we return to the palace, it might behoove us to partake of some breakfast.
Oh, yeah. Okay, keep talking. That's a good idea.
Oh, Olga is gonna stop, and I'm gonna turn to this man who it's uncommon that I'm at eye level with people, so that's a little shocking. And I'm just gonna say, my directive was to return the child.
Finger goes to her lips to like, let her play this. It's rare I get mistaken for a child. Just give it to me. Just give it to me.
Wow. I agree we should return. However, could I tempt you with a very fine fried breakfast? There is a lovely place that I happen to know that is on the way back. It would be in the direction of the palace.
Oh. Would it be spicy if I was to ask to roll this?
Sure. Let's go. No, not at all. Let's go persuasion versus insight.
I love that.
Well, I somehow only... So I got a 2 on the die. So that's a ripe 6.
Once again, I don't know what is going on.
Can I give the help action to Siegfried to make sure we have breakfast?
I will say,
well, if
yeah, my I think I've got to just like start like rolling for Siegfried on my phone, because like the browser version of his page, just every time I try to roll anything, it just completely spazzes out. So what did you get for insight?
Well, including my +4, a ripe 6.
Okay. One moment, please. On a natural 19 for 22. You I think Olga, you were like, my orders were very clear.
But it seems like a good idea.
But if it's on the way...
This man's wearing fancy armor.
He's
wearing fancy armor. Yeah, he's wearing fancy armor, so he's probably a step above me at least, because I'm not wearing armor and he is wearing armor.
Wearing armor, like you
That's how that goes.
You work at the Cobalt Soul, like you do, like, and even then it's like rank and like level of ass kicking, and also like the standard of how the various monks, but also the curators, the quote-unquote librarians of Cobalt Soul, you do know that a level of seniority does entail a level of increase in their standard of dress, as it were. So someone who is wearing, let's be clear, a helmet with multiple jewels studded in it, a beautiful sort of like silver and bronze plate armor sort of chest piece, and all of this stuff, and this big hefty dwarven throwing hammer. This guy's got to be pretty important to somebody.
Oh yeah.
So, and if he's
shiny,
yeah, and if he's like saying, and he seems really trustworthy. Like he came along and like he could have just sat on that half orc guy and he wouldn't have been able to do anything. But he just like he seems like someone who's who you can put your trust in. And if he says that you're going to get free breakfast out of it,
then I'm going to get free breakfast out of it. So she's going to kind of tighten her hold on Brenna a little bit, because part of her knows that Olga's going against a direct order to kind of...
If it makes you feel any better, I won't run away from you.
She needs the comfort of this not child. This is, I think, probably the first time she has gone against a direct order to follow another order.
Uh-huh.
And she kind of likes how that feels.
Very good. Okay, so...
Could you just let go of me just a little bit? Just gotta breathe.
Just crushing.
Gotta breathe.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Hey.
She's gonna move to a hip hold.
Much better. Okay, I like this.
So you head over to... Siegfried is going to steer you guys towards the Outwall district, which kind of is similarly on the outskirts of the city. It's you see, I think Brenna, you would know this from living in the city for as long as you have. This area of the city used to be called the Upper Slums.
Is it okay?
The area, it seems like, obviously the entire city near enough was leveled during the Chroma crisis, and obviously this area in particular really suffered particularly badly from that. So there is a process of rebuilding and rehabilitation of this area. But you also notice, I think, on what's your passive perception?
16.
I would say on a 16, you notice, besides like general improvements to the buildings here, you also begin to see like there is clearly money flowing into this area. This is kind of like how to describe it. It's like if you're from New York and people talk about the area known as Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, it's getting gentrified.
Yes, like this is like what this is to what Hell's Kitchen is now versus when you were aware of it. What Hell's Kitchen was like when it was at its grimiest, and like the way it's like portrayed in things like Daredevil and things, where it's like this like slum that's full of like crime and immigrants. They're cleaning it up. Like there have
been renewal.
There have been artists and bohemians that have lived here like since time immemorial because it's cheap, but now it's like the rich kids are starting to move in. So it's a little bit. I think you feel a little bit of yes, exactly. Like Emon hipsters, Taldori hipsters are starting to like tidy the place up a little bit, and it's beginning to feel a little bit. You're free to feel how you feel about it, but it's a bit of a mixed signals. But there are some locations here that do bear like a bit of the old style of like the old neighborhood. Siegfried directs you to a very humble-looking inn, very much in that sort of like pre-Tudor kind of like Watland Daub with the thatched roof kind of style, and there is a sign, a crudely painted sign above the entrance that says "The Third Wing." And he turns to you and says, "Ah, this is a fine establishment," and leads you inside.
Okay.
Without question.
I am currently being held, so yes.
Errol's just moving through loads of dwarves with braided beards, wearing beanie hats, setting up like their little cafes.
Effectively, yes.
Why is everywhere selling deconstructed sandwiches? What does that mean?
I think there is. I think you see. Just to throw in a little reference to something from the actual source book, you see like on a corner another Goliath, painfully thin, like looks like Jack Skellington, and he's pronouncing things in this very sort of affected kind of way. He sounds a bit like Richard E. Grant. You know, he's doing the kind of. And he's talking very profoundly to a number of people, and he wears like a sort of a doublet and hose, and this is, if I can very quickly find the character. This has absolutely no bearing on the plot. I just wanted to, because I love it. I love this character, and I want to sort of give him like a little Easter egg backdrop. This is Balthazar Bleakskull, a Goliath bard and performer. He has like I'll try and put a picture of him in the chat. He has like sort of a doublet and hose sort of situation, claret and deep red with like very intricate frills on it, and he has this prop skull in one hand, and by his side is a sort of a hand harp, like a lyre, with a skull carved into the sort of like the neck board of it. and he's just talking very. He's just talking in very sort of glorious kind of tones. Well, you see, the thing about Scanlan Shorthold's early work is that it's clearly driven by a need for family and love that he could not find in his early life. And so he would gallivant about the world, doing various adventures to fill that gaping hole that is inside all of us. We all have holes inside of ourselves that we must fill with our pain and tragedy and
I'm gonna cover Brenna's ears as soon as he said gaping hole.
Errol listens to all of this like deadly seriously, and as everyone else is walking in, and then just goes, "That's mighty annoying," and then just heads into the air.
Lena just got earmuffed. She's trying really hard not to giggle. It's at this point in Olga's head, she hears Brenna's chuckling, silent speech of, you do know I am an adult, right?
Olga's gonna look around because she had no idea where that voice came from.
Oh.
What was that?
And the speech just goes quiet in her head. And to Errol, oh boy, I think she thinks I'm a kid. Like a legit kid. Like she doesn't... The gray hair should be an indicator, and it's...
Can I can't remember how this works. Can I send stuff back, or do I have to say it out loud?
Yes. So silent speeches, we can speak telepathically to each other.
Errol just sends back, well, you're not awfully, like, trying to wriggle out of her grip at all. You seem to be having a whale of a time.
Her legs are longer.
You ain't fussing.
Her legs are longer. Just faster.
Sure enough.
I'm still looking around to see where that voice came from. Did anyone else hear
Would you
that?
like ice cream, Doc?
Yeah, the voice is gone. It's gone. It was there and it's gone.
You enter the tavern. It's fairly rustic. You get the impression that this place is rustic, not out of any sort of affectation. This is just an old pub/inn that has been around and has survived long enough to be authentically kind of modest and rustic in its charm. You know, it's not terribly big. It's not terribly bright inside. You have like a smattering of like early morning customers just like dotted around, and there are a few like booths and larger tables where the one thing you do notice is that the ceilings in here are relatively high to accommodate not just regular-sized humanoid people, but also individuals such as yourselves who are more than 5 to 6 feet tall. And the reason for that becomes clear when you see that behind the bar are a middle-aged Goliath couple.
Errol internally has just discovered that an entire new species exists, and that there's lots of them, like very, very quickly. Like he's still like as much. One thing I'm looking forward to, I'm hoping down the line, is Olga and him talking, because she was like, obviously he doesn't know this yet, but surprised that there's a bird person here. Errol is pretty much having the same experience, but with all of these things just as much, but is desperately trying to remain as stoic as he can, as if like, this is fine, it's fine that like all of this is happening, like there's 4 of a new entire kind of person that I've just come across.
I mean, Kaimal is maybe not homogenous, but it is certainly kind of, it's out of the way. So yeah, it's not unreasonable that maybe you would not have encountered Goliaths frequently. Certainly not this many packed together. But then again, you are in a large cosmopolitan city, so such a thing is to be expected.
Does Errol know that this place is the upper slums? Does he know that that's what this place is called, or is this like, is he just oblivious where they are now?
I would say, given your previous roles and like general kind of like vibe with the city of Emon, you are not super familiar with this. You would not know that straight away. You could uh, you could maybe intuit that based on an insight roll that this was perhaps a former slum area that has since been reintegrated into a sort of a more like gentrified neighborhood.
Okay.
I'll say, what's your passive insight?
14.
Yeah, I'd say on a 14, you were able to make that distinction pretty easily.
Okay. Errol's gonna find, like, whilst everyone else is sorting themselves out, he's gonna find a quiet place for them to sit down in this tavern that, like, he clocks like the best sort of seat for them to be able to have these conversations as privately as possible.
Sure. You find a nice corner booth, plenty of room to sit down, nice, decent sized table. It's out of direct sunlight, so whilst it is still early in the morning, you are conscious of like the fact that the sun is above the horizon or is slowly getting up above the horizon. So being outside during the daytime is not great for you as a drow, but you find a spot where you're relatively comfortable, like sort of slightly in the shade, out of like direct sunlight, but not like completely in the shadows.
Sweet.
As Siegfried goes to the landlady and the landlord, it seems, and says, the usual breakfast, please, and enough for 4, if you'd be so kind, and a round of ales. And he takes out a surprisingly small money pouch and just puts 2 gold pieces down on the deck. And they smile warmly at him, and the female Goliath says, God bless ye, Sir Siegfried. God bless your sport, sir. And the husband, it seems, gives him a friendly jostle on the shoulder. They're not unreasonably sized Goliaths, but he is still slightly taller than them, and definitely he is about as wide as the 2 of them together, standing shoulder to shoulder would be. So what should be a meaty slap on like a regular sized human is like a love tap to him. And it's just like, oh, we can always count on you, sir. We much appreciate it, especially in these times with, the neighborhood being what it is, everything going to the dogs. Balthazar out there as usual with his cockamamie outfits and his affectations. What is the world coming to, sir? And Siegfried gives him a light-hearted chuckle, and it's just like, he's young yet, Alfred. He'll come round. And he proceeds back to the table, where I assume the rest of you are all getting situated, and plonks himself down. A few minutes later, the landlady comes over with a reasonable sized pitcher of a pretty standard, if perhaps somewhat indifferent, ale, but it is refreshing. It is not particularly grand or anything, but it goes down smooth enough for something that clearly was not brewed with the highest tables of the land in mind. This is a humble residence with humble food and drink for people who really can't necessarily afford anything much better than this.
So that falls into my question. The price that he paid, is it usually beyond what is labeled on the menu? Like, he just paid gold for a copper meal type thing?
Make an insight check.
It looks like an unnatural 20. 23.
And I preemptively apologize for the fuckery I'm about to do momentarily.
Oh dear. Okay, so on a 23, I think on a 23, you know that that is way more than what you would expect to pay, even like at a high-end restaurant in the city could maybe ask for upward of 2 gold for like breakfast. This is you get the impression that this is
For this area, that's like here's above and beyond.
yeah. But you also, I think on that 23, you realize that Siegfried, everything you've seen of him so far this is a man who is earnest and giving to a fault. Like, he clearly only has like maybe not even 20 gold in cash on him at this present time, but he was willing to give 2 gold to these people who, looking around, clearly could use it.
It's just endearing.
Yeah.
Brenna to him more.
Yeah.
Let's face it, she's met Paladin, and then she's met this Paladin.
Yeah.
There's some Paladins that are
Yeah.
a little stuffy, and this one is humble.
Yeah. And I think on that 23, you also see that there is no like, there's nothing underhanded about this. This is not an act of like someone who is like you've lived among the class for long enough to know what a payoff looks like. This doesn't feel like that. This feels like a legit act of generosity rather than something more underhanded. All right. So you settle in. You have a round of drinks brought to you, and pretty soon you have a large platter with a number of plates, and on it are a selection of eggs, both scrambled and fried. There is bacon. There is sausage. There is blood pudding. There is all sorts for you to dig into and sort of like scoop up off this platter what you want, sort of almost buffet style. And you are free to tuck in.
So, 2 things. One, while we're eating breakfast, I am kind of narrowing my eyes a little bit at Brenna because this child is drinking ale and everybody else seems okay with this. Also, she can use a knife and fork better than I can. And 2, I'm assuming I have never been here before.
Make a history check.
12.
You've not necessarily. No, you wouldn't have been here before. I don't think.
And I'm assuming I have never seen these landlords before, correct?
Give me an insight check.
You can always tell when shenanigans are being prepared for when there's questions like that.
Oh, that is a 4.
So, here's the thing. You don't know who your parents are.
I knew you were going to say that.
Zakoyama all over it. And you're looking at them. You are Goliaths, and I think you're kind of trying to put 2 and 2 together in your head and not quite making 4. But there is a non-zero chance that these people could be your parents.
So what everybody sees is I'm just kind of mean mugging these landlords because I can't figure it out. I'm just shoveling food in my mouth and I look like I'm mean mugging, but I'm really just thinking really hard.
I'll make an insight check on their behalf, and I'll roll it at advantage since there's 2 of them and one's giving the other the help action. So on a So on a 19, they kind of clock the vibe of you, and the landlady sort of is kind of scrutinizing you a little bit too, but is just going to continue about the business of the day.
I'm just going to continue mean mugging, and I'm ignoring everybody else at the table right now.
I have a couple of questions. One which is serious, which feels silly at this point. I'm trying to recall whether from previous episodes, how much we know about Brenna. Like, have we already had that conversation in character about like why Brenna would be kidnapped in this instance and all of that, or is this like
No.
what the fuck?
I would say no. You are based on my own recollections and like the stuff that we've covered. You would have no idea why Brenna was kidnapped. You know that perhaps she has some sort of shady history through her connection to Derwin, but other than that, you have been, whether through like willful ignorance or just it not occurring to you to ask, you know very little about your companions other than what you have been able to glean through just sort of like guesswork or like active plotting.
Okay. So, because this was determining whether I was reacting to just eyeing up the Goliaths or whether this is taking more precedence. So Errol is just going to be like very slowly eating food, watching Olga do whatever the fuck she's doing, and he snaps his fingers to try and get her attention with a kind of look of like focus up, and then looks at Brenna and is like, "What the hell was that? What the hell was that back there?"
She's pausing, like, mid bite and just, oh, just stuff.
Stuff.
You just got handled. By the way, that crashing through the door was fantastic. Brennan Nimble Club, by the way. Thank you for saving me.
Olga's gonna take her hand. Olga Savage Hand. You're rather well spoken for a child.
Yes. About that. Really, a child? I get it. Halflings can look like children to most biggins. It's fine. Not sure we got the child thing.
We just straight up that meme of the math behind Olga's head right now.
Where'd you find muscles?
So you're not a child? Not a child?
No.
Child, not a child?
Not a child. I appreciate being called a child.
I'm gonna look.
This is just Father Ted. This is small. That is far away.
Yeah. I'm gonna look around the table, kind of gauge everybody else. This is just not reacting to this.
Errol clocks the look and just like, not a child, then looks at Brenner and goes, that fella seemed to know you. You seemed awful close. Like, with everything going on.
Ooh, not close. Not close. Definitely new. Not close. Close implies friendship, kinship. That was more or less supervisor punishment.
Supervisor. So what he is to you is what this Birdman here is to me.
Similar, I guess.
Well, then you have a lot of mighty explaining to do.
Maybe. And with that, she'll take a sip of her drink.
I think Siegfried sort of is looking at all of you and is like kind of taking in the tone of this and looks at Brenner and says, I understand that you come from a background of
Necessity? Yes.
and secrecy.
Mhm.
Perhaps it would be conducive to the working relationship between us for some transparency, in as much as it pertains to our working relationship and our ability to see that our quest is brought to a swift conclusion. I will not expect you to say anything that you do not wish to get into.
Well, that only is one of him. I want the full details. I went a bit foghorn leghorn then, rather than cowboy. I say.
You ride that line. You ride that line.
Stop inviting actual Americans into the podcast when I elected to do a dumb accent that I can't do.
I like your accent.
Son, you're about as sharp as a bowling ball. I say a bowling ball, boy.
This American likes that accent. You're fine. She grows quiet for a while and just seems to be doing mental math in her head. Before she just... All right, what do you want to know?
I suppose that Errol just either holds silence to indicate like he wants the whole picture, or asks some pointed questions about how like Clasp has been complex. We've had a complicated relationship to the Clasp through this, like as good guys, bad guys, messy guys, and that he clocked the way that Dragor spoke indicated history, and that with everything being so conspiratorial, Garthok, sorry, not Dragor.
Yeah. Different bad guy.
Different bad guy. Evil man mucked bad. That basically Errol's not very trusting at the moment. Like, the guards in the castle didn't do a good enough job to not even get you kidnapped. Like, the guy that we were working with right at the start is apparently starting some form of apocalypse. Like, and now you seemingly have a history with them in a way that is beyond what we knew so far. And 2 people have died so far. So, like, he wants more.
Guess that's about right. I owe Derwin a favor. And this is my repayment of that favor. Which sadly has cost the man his life. I like Derwin. Derwin was a good man.
Why did you owe Derwin a favor?
Not every time the Clasp moves people is it for wrong reasons. And I used them to move people for the right reasons. And I didn't have the money to pay. So I gave a boon. And that boon was my service.
And how did that ugly fucker back there know you?
How does one member of the Clasp know another?
That was an incredibly mysterious line that I feel like should have just like landed really well, but me as the player is like, I have no idea. Like, yes, very, very wise sounding. What? I feel like Errol would get that more than I do.
Out of character, it was an indication she's a member of the Clasp.
I'll say, Errol, you also recall seeing on Derwin's uninjured hand, well, the hand on which there were no fingers missing, there was what looked like a tattoo that had been scarred over. And I will say, that during the melee you saw what could have been a very similar tattoo on the back of Garfok's neck. You get the impression that these members are part of an overall organization, but much like a lot of the criminal factions that you have encountered over the years, it's very decentralized. Not everyone has all the same boss. It is very compartmentalized in order to keep one member from being able to take down an entire cell.
Okey-dokey.
Siegfried, I think, is listening to your explanation and says, "You lost people during the crisis, didn't you?"
There is a long silence before she nods. Yeah. It was that crisis that caused me to join Out of Need.
That must have been very hard for you. I understand that many people do the wrong thing in the name of expediency or a pressing need for survival. And that does not make it right, but it at least makes sense. Just know this. The people that you were sworn to, whatever good they may have done for you in your time of need, clearly see you as expendable, as a pawn to be used and then thrown away. Such men, they are not to be trusted in the long term.
Brenna gives this knowing smile. Like, he's just vocalizing what she already knows. I'll keep that in mind.
Very well. In the interest of full transparency, and he turns to you, Errol, perhaps there are some things of your own you may wish to put to the group in the spirit of fair exchange. And he smiles winningly at you.
Errol does sort of leans back from his meal and looks at everyone, but is kind of giving Siegfried a look of like, I sincerely don't know what you are asking of me.
You see no guile in Siegfried's face. You have clearly just asked for a show of trust from Brenna, and he is politely, maybe with a smidge of passive aggression, but with just as a gesture, he is encouraging you to be forthcoming on the same basis, but not pressing you to share anything you would not want to share.
Errol doesn't really like. Errol has one thing. Errol, I feel like, has two things that are potentially ways of building trust here. One of them is the dreams that he has, but as a drow, he knows that can get him into hot water very quickly. So he's not going to share that. So instead, he puts on here, as he has named the gun, Liar, on the table for everyone to see. He briefly explains the mechanics of it, of how it can shoot silently, and then recounts how he got it, which was a while ago, and this player is desperately trying to remember how he got it. It was in a casino, and there was a guy who was also clasped, but I can't remember more details than that. So give me a helping hand, because that was like more than 3 breakfasts ago.
Yeah, and in reality, probably close to like 2 years ago when we first attempted to record this.
Uh-huh.
I think it was in fact your session 0. You tell of your time as a sheriff come bounty hunter come sort of basically a gun for hire in Kaimel, and receiving a contract to take out a local associate of one of the crime syndicates. I think, like, even at this point, you cannot really recall who their what the reason was or why. All you know is that you were paid handsomely for it, and you got a cool bit of swag out of it. And for perhaps a while, that has just been your life, is drifting from one meal ticket to the other, just trying to look for a deeper purpose to what you were doing.
In which case, for a bit of character flavour, I'll now, yeah, so Errol basically, after explaining some of the details, is like, so yeah, I couldn't say for certain why they asked me to kill that poor sod, but I knew I was going to get paid well, nowhere else to go, nowhere else to turn, tired of town where I came from, and this is just bounty for that. But I suppose I'm now beginning to wonder whether this has more credence to our own current adventuring than maybe I first thought. And then he holsters the gun again. Sod, well known as a cowboy turn of phrase.
Sure. Hey, I won't question it. And Siegfried nods and thanks you for your candor. He expresses that he obviously, he can't really condone your actions, but again, he understands why you chose the path that you were on and hopes that you can find something more meaningful going forward. And I guess in this moment, Olga, you feel all eyes sort of turn expectantly to you.
long silence, and Errol is just like, and who the hell are you?
I'm just very confused because I don't know these people, and now I know all of their secrets.
Oh, just a good majority. It's Brenna kind of like looks at you and is like, you just got kind of tossed into this, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess it's nice to meet you all, and points at Brenna. You are not a child, and you got kidnapped because you have mean friends, and you have a cool gun, and you have wings.
Sometimes, yes.
No. Yeah. That's...
Well, that actually pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
She's just
Not only am I not a child, I'm a mother.
She's gonna turn back to her breakfast and then spit her breakfast out when you say you're a mother. I'm sorry. I go out, but I don't go out very often.
You're fine.
It's very rare that I meet people outside of the Cobalt Soul when I'm not stood in the back of a room listening or smashing.
It's rare I get saved by Goliath.
Honestly, I feel like we're in the same boat.
Okay.
What's a cobalt soul when it's at home?
We're a we keep artifacts. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to talk about or what I'm not supposed to talk about.
Oh. Well, that explains why you're here. Did they give you any... It's the word I'm looking for in this. And I look to the others. Explanation to what's going on?
Nope.
Sounds about right.
Siegfried says, her instructions were somewhat terse under the circumstances. You had been taken in the night, and we needed a spare pair of hands.
Really gonna have to complain to the council about their security.
In fairness to them, there was no sign of a break-in, no sign of a struggle. And from the looks of it, the clasp are pretty adept at hiding in plain sight, breaking in where they do not wish to be seen.
Yeah, but, I mean, powers that be and all, they should at least background check that. You'd think. Listen, the only reason why I'm upset by this is I was the one kidnapped. If I was the one doing the kidnapping, I'd be like, yep, this is perfect.
You recall, Brenna, how Garthok, and this was the same individual, had managed to waylay you within the Palace of Emon barely a day ago at this point. So
Twice now.
So yes, on the one hand, yes, that it's not necessarily something they could have predicted, but it does speak to, if not a laxity, then certainly a gap in their security. That, given their resources, they either need to really sort of like drill into them a bit of extra discipline, or else the need for tighter control of who is able to just roam the palace. And I think...
would I have any indication of that, or is that way above my pay grade?
Oh, you have... I don't think you have been to the Palace of Emon yourself at this point. So you are used to, at this point, being around members of the Cobalt Soul who generally are a lot more fastidious about security. Their whole deal is knowledge and collecting and archiving and collating items of historical and magical significance, but they are also very much about not allowing said knowledge or items to fall into the wrong hands.
So, like, this palace, anything to do with this palace, no one would have told me about anything to do with security or anything like that.
Certainly, it would not fall within the purview of your given duties. As you say, your main job is to stand around looking intimidating, and by and large, you have had no complaints.
Okay, I have nothing more to say then. I have zero clue. Dumb of ass.
And I think on that, Siegfried imparts to you some information that Brenna and Errol, you sort of got an inkling of this before, but he reveals that he is actually the child of 2 deep gnomes.
physical child of two deep gnomes or adopted child of two deep gnomes?
He sort of shrugs and says, "What's the difference?"
One, I feel very sorry for your mother.
It takes him a moment to sort of process what you're saying, and he kind of gives a hearty chuckle and says, "I was not always this big."
Me neither.
Just so you are keeping up, Olga, at some point he was a child, and now he's not a child.
Okay.
Yeah, you see Brenna doing math. Like,
Okay.
puberty must have been really, really life-altering.
I was also small once, and then I grew big. This one is just small.
Honestly, I think I've always been this way.
He explains that he is the child of a pair of deep gnomes, but as an Aasimar, the thing about Aasimar, much like tieflings, is that they can pop up out of nowhere because the celestial bloodline, much like the infernal one and the other bloodlines of this type, they do not run like two Aasimar mating, for lack of a better term, might produce a baby Aasimar, but they don't. There is no community of Aasimar living in Exandria. They just sort of appear randomly down certain bloodlines. So you can be an Aasimar that is of a human lineage, of an elven lineage, of a dwarven or even gnome line, and it has no bearing on your, like, for lack of a better term, genetics, outside of, like, it is something that is passed down and may randomly show up, like a sort of almost like a mutation. But it can happen to basically anyone, because if you go far enough back, the connections made between the upper and lower planes and the prime material, where like mortal beings commingled, as it were, with those celestial and infernal and other species, they show up in odd places. And he explains that he grew up as the child of deep gnomes in Craghammer, and when it became clear that he was as he came of age and was clearly of an unusual lineage, he was sent away to Vasselheim to become a cleric or a paladin of Pelor. Basically sent there by his parents to have a better life for himself than in the mines of Craghammer, and essentially to be trained up and become a servant of the god Pelor. And he has done his best to do that ever since. And part of what he is able to do as a paladin that he is only able to do because of his connection to the deep gnomes is he's able to do things like cast certain spells connected to that. So he is able to he's going to cast Disguise Self. You see his form shimmer for a second, and you see a sort of normal-sized, so no longer 7 feet tall, but a regular-sized humanoid with, instead of his flowing blonde hair, he has sort of regular brown hair, and there is a little more kind of a roughness to his skin and his face, and he just sort of like dismisses it and goes back to normal.
Brenna just, nope, don't like it. Say that. And she motions to his face. Do that. Don't.
It's okay. I can only do it once a day. But it can be useful. Sometimes. I don't like to trick people. I like to be honest with them. But sometimes one must...
Still wrapping my head around the fact that your parents are gnomes. I'll get there, don't worry.
It's okay. Most people take much, much longer. So you all finish your breakfast. You start heading back towards the center of the city, and I think realizing that you are now kind of like fairly like laden down with a certain amount of loot, you start heading towards the sort of the market district of the city. The people in the market square. Sellers are bringing out their produce and their various wares. People are starting to congregate. And you approach. In the center of the marketplace is this, looks like a multi-story, like an Arab-esque kind of tent with purple and gold and various windows and drapery on the outside of it, and above it in gilded lettering on a sign is the words Gilmore's Glorious Goods. And Siegfried, sort of like rooting through his bag of holding, says, I believe, Mr. Kane, that you had some sort of standing arrangement with Mr. Gilmore regarding provisions and equipment.
On him saying that, I've just realised that Errol's going to look quite sad, because at the same token, this is where I wish I was better with names. Sean's character,
Telford Cornflower.
Telford also has a standing credit with, and I don't know whether Z did, because I don't know whether he came with.
No, it was you two that went. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
So he just kind of goes, and then kind of heads inside because he realizes that he has to settle that and figure out what that means.
Do the rest of you follow?
Of course. Friends.
Olga, despite being seven foot tall, has something of the sort of like the chaste kind of Labrador about her in this moment. Just like
can't tell if that description is adorable or kind of terrifying. Chaste Labrador.
Oh yeah, Brittle had it.
You know, just very obediently following along with you. You enter through the main entrance, and once again you're within this opulent, well-stocked shop that is deceptively larger on the inside than it appeared from outside. You see racks and racks of weapons and items, and potions, various accoutrements for the adventurer on the go. Behind the counter, once again, is Sherry, the half-elf woman. She's very prim, very proper. She's wearing a pair of like little round spectacles and like the perch of her nose. She has her hair tied back in a very severe-looking bun. She's in front of a mechanical cash register and is just thumbing through what appears to be some sort of book. I think, give me anyone who wants to give me a perception check.
9.
Perception. Dropping my dice.
17.
19 plus 4. So
23.
23.
Yeah, I think both Brenna, you and Errol notice the well-worn spine, and this is there is a illustration on the front jacket of a woman in the embrace of a very strapping half-orc, his shirt open at the neck, and the words "Tusk Love" in fine filigree on the front cover. And as she sees you come in, she snaps it shut and slams it on the desk and is like, "Yes, welcome to Gilmore's Glorious Goods. Oh, it's you." And sort of looks at you, Errol, with just a smidge of disdain, but is clearly trying to keep it professional. He's like, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Gilmore in.
She rolls her eyes and says, "Yes, somewhere." And she looks over her shoulder and just gives a short, sharp, "Sean!"
Whilst at the moment that she says that, he then says, like, "Good book, is it?"
Yes.
Well, that's good to hear.
So, very...
Engaging book.
Yes. And she just...
First time reading it?
No.
Chapter 8, right? Yeah, chapter 8.
She blushes and sort of like breaks eye contact and is like, "Sean!" And there is a puff of smoke and a sort of a mirror ball effect of like dancing, dazzling lights, and out of a sort of a bead curtain at the back emerges Sean Gilmore in his purple and gold embroidered robes, slight paunch at the belly, long black hair, and the perfectly manicured goatee and mustache with just a little bit of salt in the pepper, and his sort of like tanned arabesque kind of complexion is just like, "Welcome to Gilmore's Glorious Goods. How may I service you?"
Do you have to do that every time, or does that just happen when you enter a room?
Yes.
Yes. Fair enough. Can't argue with that.
And he leans over the cash desk and inspects you, Errol, and he's just like, well, you have acquired a few new members to your party. How exciting for you.
Again, on the reference to people joining, it just makes him remember how much has happened in this short amount of time, and he evidently does not look, the fun of this interaction disperses, and he's just like, yeah.
Gilmore sees this, and the sort of the performative sort of facade kind of abates slightly, and he says, "I heard that your associate was the subject of a most terrible fate. You have my sincere apologies and sympathies, darling."
Okay, Errol just gives a kind of nod of like, "Yep, I acknowledge that you just said that, but that's too many feelings for me. I am a man, cowboy. This is too many feelings."
But to business. What can I service you with on this bright and glorious day? I'm given to understand that you have some more adventures ahead of you before you are deemed out of service of the council. Your standing order remains intact, by the way. We'll say for the sake of keeping things light and breezy, anything up to 1,000 gold will be covered by your standing account, unless of course you have any items you wish to trade in kind. And he sort of there is a flicker across his forehead of a sort of electric blue symbol of an eye. Siegfried is going to step forward and say, well, we had an interesting encounter up at Gatshadow, and he pulls out his bag of holding and just starts pulling out various items. As he's pulling these out, the ring of spell turning, the Acheron short sword, the long sword of wounding, the gloves of missile snaring, the necklace of adaptation, the double-bladed scimitar, the light crossbow with bolts, the glaive, the leather armor, the spiked armor, the longbow, and various other assorted bits of general adventuring equipment. You pick out the individual items that you seem to be actually, let's not part with that. Oh, maybe we hold on to that. And there is still a considerable amount of material on the table by the time you are done. Mostly, unless anyone wished to claim it, the swords are currently not picked out. And Gilmore sort of scans his hand over them, and his eyes crackle with arcane energy. Yes, very good. I will say, in exchange for some of these items, I could be convinced to part with some things of a slightly more interesting nature that I've been holding on to for the right customer. And he snaps a finger at Sherry, and Sherry rolls her eyes and heads out into the back and comes out with a selection of other items. She places a pair of boots, what appears to be some sort of religious amulet, a round copper ball, and basically a series of wooden bars connected together by a chain, and places them on the counter in front of you. We have here a standard pair of boots of speed, very good for getting in and out of places very quickly. The iron bands of binding, which, when using the correct command word, can be thrown at an opponent and used to incapacitate them, non-lethally, of course. We have an amulet of the devout. I note you, young lady, appear to have some connection to the divine yourself, as do you. And he looks up and up and up into the eyes of Siegfried, and then looks to the side to Olga and is like, good gods, they're making them big nowadays. Don't they know there's a fuel crisis going on? Look at the size of you.
I look behind me.
I more than anything want to say, and that guy's a gnome, but I can't reveal that guy's past. For the purposes of a joke.
And Gilmore shrugs and says, well, it takes all sorts. And then takes up the 3 bars and says, now this item is the 3-section staff of Shang-Ti. And he, you know what, I'm gonna roll a I'm gonna roll a, just because Gilmore's a sweet boy, but he is not the most dexterous. That is not his area of expertise. I'll say on a 4, he attempts to do some Bruce Lee stuff and very nearly knocks himself out with it, and he's just like, perhaps for someone with a somewhat more dexterity than I. But they have a variety of uses. You can use it to attack, you can use it to defend, you can parry, you can block, you can trip people up with them. It is quite difficult to learn, but with practice.
Olga's definitely eyeing that. I have seen weapons like this before, and I like that.
Errol definitely perked up at the idea of iron bands of binding.
Do either of you reach for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Errol starts turning it over to have a look.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna very quickly put an item in your inventory, Olga. Bear with me 2 minutes. Whilst you're doing that, Errol, you pick up this ball and you feel it feels solid, but you can see like seams along it. And Gilmore says that item was acquired under some interesting circumstances. In order to activate it, you use a certain code word. It can be programmed upon attuning to it. I believe the current code word is manners, and as he says manners, the ball splits open. I will say, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. +5. 23.
You drop the ball and dodge to the side just as this thing sprouts a myriad of chains that try to jump out and magically encircle you, and you see it topple to the floor in almost like a mummy's wrapping of chains that just kind of like lies on the floor.
Errol doesn't say anything and just looks at Gilmore with a look of why evidently that was going to happen. like just pure like, are you like really? Like
useful for both work and play, darling.
Oh god.
Bringa just kind of giggles.
Errol frowns and does not understand anything that man has just said. Why would you want to play with something like this? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. How do you get this thing to go back together again? Why are you laughing? You're a child. Shut up.
Technically to you, she is a child.
Actually, yeah, technically to me, she is a child.
So Gilmore speaks the word manners a second time, and you see it instantly uncoils, detaches itself, and just in the second that it's took for him to say it, it has shrunk back into a ball.
Errol slowly picks it up again and gives Gilmore like a cocked brow of like, if you fucking say it again, I'm going to throw it at you. And it's like, how much for this? Do Hickey, whatchamacallit?
We'll call it a fair trade for the long sword of wounding.
I don't mind that being a thing, but I don't know if anyone else decided to take that sword, because I didn't.
Go ahead. I'm sure we can figure out ways to use the bindings.
Yeah, the main sword guy is currently in a coma, so I think you're good. Olga, if you refresh your page, you should see an item in your inventory. Just make sure that it's equipped, and you may need to attune to it. But
oh boy.
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
Got it?
I got it.
So you have this item in your possession. You sort of get the feel of it. You sort of attune to it. because of the way that D&D Beyond works now, I will allow you to use Topple, but it will probably be like 2014 rules, so we may need to adjust that after the fact. But for the other functions associated with this item, you can do a variety of things using a number of charges.
Oh, hell yeah.
What do you do?
I think she's going to pick it up and kind of look it over. And I'm going to look around to see if I could safely use it in this place without breaking everything.
Give me a insight check.
Oh, nat 20.
There is no way you can use this anywhere in here without potentially either injuring somebody else or breaking something.
That makes me want to do it more. I'm not going to do it.
That's the correct response.
I'm not going to do it.
I was about to say, challenge accepted.
In fact, I'm going to say, I do know how to use this item, but I have manners.
You.
Gilmore smiles graciously and nods and says, "Thank you. That is most considerate." And Sherry audibly just uncoils a little bit and lets out a little sigh of relief.
And what happens to Errol?
What happens to me? Because it just said manners, like a douche canoe.
Well, you are not currently attuned to the item, so it's fine.
Oh, that's
so I just scared
good.
him.
That's good.
Yeah.
Errol dropped. Errol's just like, ah! Just drops the thing.
I didn't. I didn't use the staff. I'm not gonna do it. That's why I think you freaked out.
So you divvy up your items. We'll say that any other like adventuring gear that you need, whether it's you have some rations. If there are any other provisions, we'll get in the chat and we'll make a list of anything like adventuring gear specific that you want to get that isn't like a unique item. Are there any other takers for the Boots of Speed or for the Amulet of the Devout?
No, I'm full up on the 2-minute slots.
I think looking at them and seeing that they are potentially of use, Siegfried is going to look at the Amulet of the Devout and say, "I am not a man of significant means, Mr. Gilmore, but if you would be kind enough to have the proceeds of some items that I have in my possession donated to the poor of the parish, I would consider it a great service to the community." And he's going to make a persuasion check. And on an 18, you see sort of like a twinkle of something pass between Siegfried and Gilmore. And Gilmore doesn't fully melt, but there is sort of like a little bit of a flirtatious "Oh, go on. You twisted my arm." And he's just like, "Very well, any items that are not for sale or that will not be procured at this time, we'll make sure that a portion of the sale of them goes towards a reputable cause within the city." "Thank you. Your largesse, Mr. Gilmore, knows no bounds. You are too kind, sir. Not at all."
I am beyond shocked that Adam had these two characters flirt with each other. Just utterly surprised. Came out totally from left field.
I don't think you kind of read anything out of Siegfried as being inherently flirtatious. He's just, he has one thing. It's that, serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law. He is RoboCop.
Birdman RoboCop.
He just has more charisma. He's RoboCop with a higher charisma score.
A huge emotional segue, but as in terms of them talking about for the public good, Errol asks Gilmore if Telford's credit could also be used charitably, if he's willing to do so in honor of that. If that makes sense. Rather than it just being swallowed back up, take that what would have been spent and use that in a good way.
I will say, already being primed for this kind of gesture, Gilmore is just kind of waves it away and just, very well, darling. Times are not so hard that I can't let a little profit slide in the name of doing the right thing for my community. I said as much before. The city is my first love, darling.
Tips hat, like a cowboy thanking someone.
You settle up your business with Gilmore, bid farewell.
But before we leave, can I see if there's a copy of Tusk Love around? Because everybody else said that was a good book.
Give me a investigation check.
It's in that one.
Oh dear. I think on this you're looking around and you end up sort of hover-handing a little bit over Sherry as she's trying to retrieve her book, and she looks at you and is just like, what is it? What do you want?
Is this a good book?
Yes, it's a very good book.
Where can I purchase this book?
Normally, I would say here. You may need to...
Sorry.
I just let myself get dragged out.
I can lend you my copy, dear. I can lend you my copy. Just kind of wink at Sherry.
Sherry does the anime thing where the big sweat drop appears on the forehead and the little black thundercloud kind of expression, and just flounces into the back and is just mumbling something as you all exit. Errol, give me a luck check.
All right. I got an 18 on the D20. I don't know what I do. I don't add anything to that for a luck check, do I?
Nah, it's just straight D20 roll.
18 it is then.
I think as you're exiting, on an 18, you as you guys are leaving Gilmore's and heading down through the marketplace, you pass an alleyway and you see a figure, this very scrawny. You can't tell whether he's malnourished or if he's just extremely very wiry figure. He has big patches of bald on his head and random little shocks of wispy gray hair poking out all over the place, and these two mismatched sized goggle lenses and numerous missing teeth. His face is covered in soot, and he's just like, hey, you there?
I tap Siegfried and get on the shoulder and get other people's attention and sort of do a nod towards the alleyway and nod my head in the weird little fella's direction.
Do you approach?
If everyone else has clocked as well, then yeah.
You approach this figure, and he's wearing a very tattered kind of overcoat, no shoes. He has one hand is clearly visible. The other appears to be, from like the wrist up, appears to be a very battered and sort of not in full disrepair, but slightly old and rusted mechanical hand. And he just says, "Hey, you, gunslinger."
General grumbly noise of waiting for the strange man to say anything of interest.
Powder. You need powder. Black powder, salesman. And he points at himself. Hey, you need black powder to make boom.
Errol finally sort of like really clocks everything to do with this guy. Like, he hasn't got a hand, he's covered in soot, and almost goes, in his head he's like, the worse they look, the more likely it is that they do have the thing that I want. So the fact that this guy has evidently blown his own hand off is probably a good sign. And is like, alright then, like show me what you got.
Come with me, and he leads you further into the alleyway. And there are various barrels and sort of like a lean-to kind of tent situation that he's constructed. He kind of like comes over and cracks open a barrel, and inside is indeed more than you could reasonably carry, but a full-size barrel of gunpowder. And he has like various like smaller like containers, like jars, powder horns, and things like that. And he says, see, black powder, ate it for another great gunslinger. The first guy, yes, they thought I was dead, but no, Victor lives. He lives.
Well, good for you, I guess. How much are you selling this stuff for?
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Hurry it along.
Let me think. And he starts doing maths on his things. Hogshead? And he indicates like a sort of a size, about the size of a head. Or perhaps the size of a large melon.
Like, he's saying that's how much he's gonna that how much he's gonna give me. Is that what he's indicating with how much he wants from me?
Yeah, hogshead of powder.
Okay. Yeah. All right. How much for a hogshead of powder?
Custom materials.
You really need to start snorting that saltpeter, son. Really
I do not snort that. I do not that kind of powder. Stupid man. And he looks a little closer at your skin. Black powder.
This child is spicy.
Yes. This child is very spicy.
He holds. He sees the two of you. And he's just like, small.
With him.
Bigger.
I look behind me again.
I snap my fingers in front of the guy's face. Like, focus up.
Hogshead, 200 gold.
Oh, Jesus. I do not have that. I only have 130 gold.
130 get you half hogshead. Plus a little more. I do you half hogshead for 130 gold.
So, can I see if there's anything else? Like, is he literally just a weird little dude with some barrels of gunpowder and nothing else? Or is there, like, because I know we were talking before about, like, other things that I wanted. So, like, are there cartoon round bombs with fuses? Are there, like, what else does this funny little guy have?
You see a couple of sticks of dynamite. I think at this point, Siegfried is like, I can offer you an extra 10.
He's gonna blow us up if we let him have that stuff. Just pointing that out. Boom.
I feel like a hogshead's worth of gunpowder is excessive. Like, I don't know enough about.
It's 63 pounds.
I don't know enough about actual guns.
That's
like,
30
to know what does an actual person with a rifle do? Like, how does that actually? Do you put that much in a gun? I have no idea. Like,
absolutely.
How do guns work?
Absolutely.
That feels like enough for like a cannon on a ship. Like.
It'd set you up for basically
a life,
if not the rest of your life, but certainly like a while, unless you were like basically trying to like.
I can't just walk around with a satchel of gunpowder everywhere we go.
It's not a satchel at that point. It's bigger than a barrel of alcohol.
I don't need. That's mental. This man is mental.
Yeah.
You see him rooting around in like a wash tub full of oily rags and things, and pulls out what appears to be an actual bag that appears to be made out of an actual pigskin. He's like, "Here, Hogshead."
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
Are
we doing like the actual barrel of like a hogshead size, like 63 pounds? Or are we doing like something smaller than that? Because each pound has about. Dear listener, I am sorry that I know this, and please understand, it is because of a very strange past. Bullets are measured in grains and how much gunpowder is put in them.
Okay.
A standard shot is about 5 grains.
Oh.
Each pound has about 7,000 grains.
Okay.
There's 63 pounds in a hogshead.
He is offering you half a hogshead, if that helps.
Right. Thank you. Right. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that, because I did not know any of that, and now I feel truly insane, because now this is like going to a Burger King and saying like, "Hello, I would like to eat all of the burgers in the world, please."
So epic meal time,
yes.
but with dynamite.
Epic meal time with dynamite. Right. Errol takes off from. He's got 2 pouches that are empty, so he takes an empty pouch off. He goes, "Fill that up, the 2 sticks of dynamite, and we're out of here. And I'll give you 50 gold."
For our English viewers, he just purchased about 2 1/4 stone. Thank you, Google.
Sure. Fine. 50 gold. And he takes the pouches and just starts shoveling big handfuls of gunpowder into them. It's just like sprays of soot coming up off him. And you see his metal hand kind of like clacking away as he does this. I think as you see him doing this, he's like, hand. And then he like presses a button and twists a knob and just takes it off and waves with his now handless arm. He says, "Learn from my mistakes."
Yeah.
I don't have anything. This guy's amazing. This guy's my hero.
Puts it back on, gives it a wiggle, and is just like, "There, 2 pouches, 2 sticks of dynamite, 50 gold." And he holds out a hand, his non-injured hand.
I give him 50 gold, and then I pat him on the back and give him a look of like, look after yourself. Like, there is an amazing place to get breakfast down there. Please get breakfast. Please eat something other than whatever you have been doing in your life so far.
Coffee.
This guy has full-on Twin Peaks vibes, like coffee. Like...
Yes, drink lots of coffee. And he produces like a kettle that has been just like staying like heated on like a small fire and just pours.
Whoa! There's a small fire. There's a small fire.
Yeah, like a little campfire.
There's a small.
Yeah. That's why I'm over here.
It's
I'm
on
hiding behind Brenna.
It's on the opposite side from the gunpowder.
I don't think on the opposite side. He's walking gunpowder. He's covered in this stuff. He's gonna pour a coffee and his other hand's just gonna explode. That guy has to do like a saving throw every time he makes some mug of coffee.
And you see his hand kind of shaking as he is pouring. He's just like, used to be from Vasselheim. Quadros had shop. Used to make the black powder, and they would sell to rich people. Like boom, and then big monster. Stone Titan come, and then necromancers, they come to my shop, and I set tripwires and explosives, and boom, and I killed all of them, and they thought I was dead. No, Victor von Vasselheim lives. And he sips jitterily at this cup of coffee.
Errol looks over very slowly at Siegfried with a face of just like this is mental, and says like, "Do you know this guy? Because he's from Vasselheim." Like, so in my head, do you know
Yes,
him
because
there?
everyone from Vasselheim knows each other.
What is is Vasselheim like a huge country?
Vasselheim is a city.
Vasselheim is a city.
I will say on a 16, Siegfried stares at him and says, "Victor? I heard you were dead."
Oh no.
Oh my good lord. That's when Brenna's just like, oh good lord, I'm gonna go over this way now. Just
I didn't know him, but it is he during the battle with the Whispered One, his shop exploded. It was a massive conflagration. Nobody survived that. I did. Learn from my mistakes.
oh Brenna's just like looking at him and then looking at Errol and going, please don't let this be your future. Please do not let this be your future.
You think I'm gonna end up like Jesus, like whatever the equivalent of Jesus Christ is in this world? For lol's sake, woman.
Well, I mean, I don't. This could be the gunpowder talking, but you know, mad like a hatter, mad like
This
a gunner.
guy's been snorting up his nose like it's Christmas time. Like this is not my future, or whatever the equivalent of Christmas is in this world.
That would be Winter's Crest.
This guy's been snorting up his nose like it's Winter's Crest. Like, don't. I'm not heading this way.
Okay, well, your transaction completed. You are free to proceed. Proceed on.
I give the guy a little salute and say, "Get yourself food," and then leave.
Yeah, will do. 50 gold. Buy a lot of sausages. and he waves.
In my head, we've left ages ago. Like he's just like sausages, just on his own. That guy's a vibe.
That, yeah.
Beloved NPC Victor.
The character's just gonna be like, okay then.
Not even Matt Mercer himself, claiming that he is dead, can stop me from dragging him into this. Sorry, continue, Brenna.
We have taken the most roundabout way back to where we gotta go. Brenna's just like, should we go back now, or do we have other adventures?
I think, I feel like it's time to head back.
Yeah.
You need to know more about what these kobold, in my head, they start walking back, and Errol is going to say I'll be swift, but Errol says something to Siegfried along the lines of I know I was hard on you guys for keeping us all locked up in there, but I have a feeling like maybe we can get on much tighter than I first gave credit for. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, we've proven we're not really locked up, more just honor kept.
Mm-hmm. And then turns to Olga and says, "So you're saying your kobold, whatchamacallits, collect artifacts. So if anyone's going to know anything about 5 fingers of, well, whatever these wizards like to call their dumb little things, you're going to know 1 thing or 2 about that sort of thing, right?"
My co-workers, yes. And sorry, Olga seems a little bit sad that you're heading back now.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, if you have any questions, Cressida might be a point of questioning.
Well, then let's head back and see what those prissy wizards have what to say about this, and then let's go talk to some blue fellas about some weird tools. That's a sentence I said out loud. That's apparently a sentence that I said today.
Yes, it is. And it's been recorded for posterity. And will be in the cut.
Brenna whispers to Olga, "I can pretend to get kidnapped again if you ever want to get out, okay?"
Okay. She's very happy about that. Very happy. And then she holds your hand. She's going to hold your hand on the way.
I accept it. We're friends.
It's a bit of a reach because of the height differential, but you do indeed hold hands. For as long as it takes before Brenna's arm starts to get a bit sore.
Just reaching all the way up.
You proceed back through the city. You go up. Once again, you head up the stairs towards the Cloudtop district, which is a significant climb. But once you reach the top, you are let back into the palace by the guard. They're expecting you, and you find Allura, Odessa, and Cressida sort of standing in the sort of main entrance hall. Allura is pacing back and forth a little bit, clearly contemplating. And they say, "Oh, good. You're all alive. You all made it back. Very good."
And we didn't take a single detour.
Deception check.
And we went exactly where we were meant to go.
Oh, no. So I rolled a 2, so that's a 1.
They sort of narrow their eyes at you, but sort of brush it off that it was
Breakfast. We just got breakfast. Just got some breakfast.
Just breakfast, no other details.
Oh!
Allura brushes it off. It's fine. You're adventurers. You do what you need to do. We have means of keeping an eye on you if we really need to, but I trust the discretion of Sir Siegfried to ensure that you don't go too far off piste when it comes to carousing around town. In any case, it's just as well because we have had time to thoroughly discuss the matter at hand. We have an idea. And she turns to you, Errol, and says, the gemstone is of interest to us, and indicates for all of you to follow into the same study you were in before, where you were perusing the various pieces of evidence and information, and Allura explains that... Let me just grab my notes real quick for the first time in the episode.
Notes.
Allura explains that between the three of them, her, Odessa, and Cressida, they have deduced that the gem that was stolen by Reynard is in fact a fragment of Thordak's soul anchor. In lieu of a history check, she explains that that decades ago, when Thordak first attacked Emon and Tal'Dorei, Allura and her adventuring group, known as the Arcana Pansophical, a semi-secretive circle of many of Exandria's most powerful arcane practitioners, were able to use this gem called a soul anchor to bind Thordak to the elemental plane of fire and imprison him there. And for a period of time, that was deemed to be enough to keep him in check. However, at some point prior to the events of the Chroma Crisis, with the aid of the Green Dragon Raishon, he was able to break free, and the soul anchor became embedded in his chest, so that when he crossed over into the prime material plane once more, he carried the essence of the fire plane with him, which mutated him and gave him increased strength and size, and made him significantly more powerful and dangerous, which was how he was able to build his conclave, decimate Emon, and continue to be an existential threat to life in Emon and the greater continent of Tal'Dorei. But it also led to the energy of the elemental plane bleeding over into this realm. And whilst Vox Machina were able to destroy the soul anchor and kill him, fragments of it may well have survived and been passed around. You, in discussion, you also figure out that part of the reason why all of the items that Reynard seems to be seeking are scattered around all over the place is because in the fallout following the fall of the Conclave, the Hoard was being distributed all over the continent of Tal'Dorei and perhaps even further afield. So, having access to this gem would act as a sort of focusing element for the powers that Thordak was calling upon from the plane of fire, that would essentially allow a person to pull that plane into the prime material. And it seems like the other items that he's been collecting and trying to harness their power seems to be in the interest of channeling that power on a scale that no one individual alone would be able to do. To most people, this gem would just be that. It would just be a random bauble, but used as a focusing element, like like a lens. It could pull in energy from the fire plane and use it to empower someone who had a direct connection to Thordek in that way.
So Errol, being as old as he is, knows has experienced that dark time himself, didn't he?
Yes, you would have been around at that time.
Um,
you would have been sort of like perhaps like secluded from like the worst of it, but Kaimal is in the shadow of the mountain, Gat Shadow. You would have seen the flood of refugees from Westrun and the surrounding villages. You would have seen Goliath raiders acting as supplicants of that regime. You would have seen the fallout of this going on.
So that fucker's trying to get that whole sorry business going again.
It appears so. It appears he wishes to finish what Thordak started.
Would I be right in assuming that Errol could put two and two together and that this Reynard is maybe like some sort of... Because we talked about in the last session, like, tieflings being... There's no reason why he couldn't be like a dragonborn tiefling kind of thing. Like, so Reynard has a connection to Thordak, like has his, in inverted commas, son, and then can use the glove to drag fire to him, and Like, could he connect those dots? And am I connecting dots?
Insight.
Yeah, okay.
Insight with advantage.
19 on the die. +4.
On that revelation, you basically crack it wide open. It's pretty clear that whatever Reynard is doing, it is likely that Heir of Cinder is a lot more literal. You know that Reynard has a penchant for disguise. It is not unreasonable to believe that the face that you have seen for the time that you've spent with him may not be his true face. Mm-hmm. That he may indeed be some sort of dragonborn hybrid. And at this point, Odessa and Cressida sort of draw attention to the map of Emon, and there is a swath to the east of the city, just shy of where the sort of the mountains begin to creep in, that is marked off as in like a sort of a black swath of land that has, in very small writing, Scar of the Cinder King, and a small marker on the outskirts of it which has the name Flame Reach Outpost on it. And Odessa says, we've been getting reports from our allies amongst the Fire Ashari, who are currently at Flame Reach Outpost, that there has been a big spike in arcane activity within the Scar of the Cinder King, the land that was roasted and blackened to a cinder by Thordak all those decades ago. They have been working diligently to contain the damage and the bleed over of energy from the fireplane for many years, but some pockets of that elemental chaotic energy still exist out there. We believe that if there is a concerted effort to restart what Thordak was doing all those decades ago, that is the place where it is most likely that this Reynard fellow is trying to do his business. And Cressida looks at you, Olga, and says, Soldier.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you been acclimatizing to this group.
Is she still holding the halfling's hand? Are you acclimatizing to this group?
Looks you up and down.
Could I do an insight check to see if she'd be mad
Sure.
at me if I was?
Do it at. I'd say do it flat.
Fucking hell. That's my second nat one.
I'm actually going to use my bountiful... Wait, hold on. Before I say this, let me make sure I have it on this character. I do. You'll get bountiful luck. Reroll that one.
Oh,
That's right. Brenna has bountiful luck.
Definitely are holding her hand.
Okay, that would be a... Okay, that's a 13.
You don't know Cressida super well. She's very buttoned down, very refined, very suave. Doesn't really wear her emotions on her sleeve. So you don't think she would be mad, but you do get that little bit of a thing of like, is this a test?
Yeah, I'm just kind of staring at her with a bit of a mean mug in her for a little bit, because I'm thinking real hard. Yes, mission this morning was successful. We made just one small detour on the way home.
How would you like another detour? And she smirks at you, knowingly.
I'm gonna look at my new friends. Kind of straighten up, still holding Brenna's hand. Yes, ma'am. If you think I'm ready for a mission.
I think she's ready.
She's ready.
I don't know. Bring a stage whispers. I think she's ready.
I'm so proud of myself.
She takes the dart and chain from her belt and is going to swing out at you. Give me. You have the free section staff. That's a 17 on the die. Give me I think a parry or a block roll.
Okay. Ooh.
Give you a chance to try this new ability out.
I'll do a parry.
So 17 on the die.
So that was my second crit. With this weapon. I've only rolled about this weapon twice, and that was a crit.
So you
I can roll my parry. I'll
go for it.
This seems so in character that it's like, is this person mad at me? I have no idea. I can hit them really hard though.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Wait,
So you
so with the parry.
yeah, you use your reaction to expend one charge to reduce the damage. We'll say you just reduce the damage, but you
That's a 12 reduction.
cool. She whips out this dart on a chain at you, and you instinctively go as if it's a part of you. You grab the free section staff and just swing it and block the dart. It wraps around, and you just twist it, and the chain shoots out of her hand. And she smiles at you and says, "You're ready."
I smile so big with this new weapon. I'm just so happy.
And I think that is where we are going to leave it for today.
Yes, that's a really nice image right at the end there. That's really sweet.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yay!
That was Hoard of the Cinder King, a Tales from the Arclight program. Written, directed, and produced by Adam X.Smith. Executive produced by Adam X.Smith and Nathan T. Dean. Game design by Adam X.Smith and Rebecca Reeg. Original character designs by Jojo Smith and Mado Chadebec. Additional editing, sound design, and original title music composed by Myles Curwen. Additional sound engineering by Gunner. Additional music provided by Incompetech and composed by Kevin MacLeod. Sound effects sourced from freesounds.org and beats by talent on YouTube. Tales from the Arclight is made possible through Spotify for Creators, formerly Anchor.fm. Engage with us on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky at the links in the description.